They were talking about it on breakfast yesterday morning and today. 72% turnout, which by UK standards would be very impressive, but by French standards, let's get some Australia. The French love to vote, right? And if they're not going to come out and vote, then there is something very unhappy with the French electorate, certainly about Emmanuel Macron. If we go back to the previous presidential election, Emmanuel Macron was the new boy. It was his first ever election, new party. He'd only set it up the year before. He came along to smash the two traditional French parties that have been dominating French politics for so long, the Socialists and the Republicans. So there was a big voter turnout, a real galvanising effect. And when he won, and he became France's ever youngest president on this day 5 years ago, there was lots of fireworks and celebrations beneath the Eiffel Tower. There's going to be a big change. This is something new for French politics. A lot of people in the last 5 years have become disenfranchised with Emmanuel Macron. They say the changes he promised haven't happened. They've been very unhappy with, on the left, with some of his economic policies, which are perceived to be right-wing, to be pro-business, and that is why a lot of left-wing support has drained away from his campaign, and it's why this time round he is expected to win, but the margin of victory is expected to be far, far less.
And just when you're speaking about the two candidates, I mean, you have someone who's been there for quite some time, Emmanuel Macron, hasn't been very popular with certain sections of the French electorate. You have Marine Le Pen, who has fought a number of these elections, is very much on the right wing. The people in the middle seem to be disenfranchised, Paul, and the question is, where do they go when they're voting today?
Well, exactly. That's the key question, Arlene. 30% of people in Paris voted for Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the far-left candidate, and he came a very, very close third in the first round of the election. Now, clearly, there is a significant number of the French electorate that find Jean-Luc Mélenchon appealing, and indeed his party is expected to play a key part in the French Assembly elections, which happen in 2 months' time, and that will dictate who is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister leads the government, and for the first time, a lot of people are saying that in France we're going to have a Prime Minister who's from a different party to the French President. It's called cohabitation, if you'll excuse my terrible French, but effectively that means the Prime Minister's from one party, the President's from another party, and of course if you've got a Prime Minister and a President who are from different parties, then it's going to be more difficult for the President to get their legislation through. So Jean-Luc Mélenchon came third. He's out of the race to become French President, but his party and his politics is expected to play a significant part in those French Assembly elections. For the right of the French electorate, very, very divided, much more divided than the left one would say, and so a lot of people are saying, Eric Zemmour was saying, the very far left right candidate was saying that the right needs to come together, it needs to homogenise, it needs to unify more if it is to play a significant part in shaping France for the next 5 years.